All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. It's time for you to take a trip. Yes, Corona has seemed to have disappeared or has been operating at a minimal level where we are starting to become happy about being outside. Many people have now either gotten fed up of wearing a mask or have come to the conclusion that they are just fine without a mask. In many places overseas, they've done away with all mandates pertaining to traveling and pertaining to Corona. For instance, where I am in the state of Florida, there's a video going around right now of the governor of Florida, DeSantis, telling a group of students as he went to a school to give a speech to remove those masks because they're not doing anything. Okay, if you want to wear them, just wear them, but just understand that they're not doing anything. In other words, we're able to move around freely, and wearing a mask is now a choice and not a mandate. With that said, the world is changing again. We are breathing a breath of fresh air coming out of this multiple years of pandemic, right? Where we had to be locked in and all that. People want to go places. And one of the favorite places for some of us to go is Jamaica, whether it be because we have family members there or it's because that's where we go to rest and get some relaxation before we return to the grind of life. Jamaica is just some people's hotspot for fun and vacation times. If you've never been to Jamaica before, and if you've never partied under the stars in Jamaica before, then you owe yourself that in this lifetime. Now, here's an update to what is going on in Jamaica. We've traveled to Jamaica multiple times during the pandemic, and each time we went, it seemed to have been a different set of rules. This time, again, it's going to be a different set of rules. Only this time, it should be more fun because there will be less stringent rules. The headline, according to the Jamaica Loop News, says no more travel authorization and quarantine rules when visiting Jamaica. As of March 1st, 2022, travelers to Jamaica will no longer be required to obtain travel authorization to enter the island. Again, as of March 1st, 2022, travelers to Jamaica will no longer be required to obtain travel authorization to enter the island. If you traveled during the pandemic, which we did, then you would know that you were required to obtain a travel authorization through a Jamaica website. This is after you had done your COVID test, then you would contact them, and then you would get a travel authorization after filling out a questionnaire to come in, after giving them all the information they required. You no longer have to do that step. Now, travelers 12 years and older will only need to provide a negative result from a COVID-19 antigen. 12 years and older will now need to provide a negative result from a COVID-19 antigen or a PCR test conducted within 72 hours prior to their travel. Additionally, they will no longer face travel-related quarantine measures. Two things here that's going to be fun for me and my family. For one, I won't have to go through seeing my small children have this thing rammed up their nostrils again. Yes, it was very necessary and we complied. We had no choice. However, it was very painful to watch. You know, when you have to watch your children become uneasy and someone hurts them and they cry, you know, we don't have to go through that anymore. And then traveling with crying children with runny nose, because after they put that thing up your nose, you're usually sneezing or feel like you want to sneeze, the urge to sneeze, but no sneeze is coming out. And you have now you have children with you who are bothered. And you know how that goes. Small, bothered children on top of all the other things that were going on. Come on, we got to go see if our bags are over here. Then we got to go check in over here. We got to make sure we have these authorizations from here. We got to get in this line over here and go through check-in. Then we've got to strip down and take our shoes off and put our bags up here and empty our bags. And it was just a mess. So now, eliminating that will make traveling a little more fun and a lot easier. So it's not everybody in the family It's travelers that are 12 years and older who will need to provide a negative result from a COVID-19 antigen or PCR. That means both are accepted. That's another thing we had. We weren't sure which one it was. So we got tested twice. We had the antigen and then we had the PCR done just to be on the safe side because we did not want to miss our flight, right? Additionally, they will no longer face travel-related quarantine measures. So when you arrived in Jamaica during the quarantine, you were either supposed to be going to what was called the corridor. They had established what's called a corridor, and that corridor is established specifically to save the Jamaica tourism industry, right? So most of the people that were coming in would book into the area that is called the corridor. Inside the corridor is where 90 to 95% of Jamaica's tourism industry is located. All the places that you would go if you were a tourist on that side of Jamaica. And it was about 5% of regular local Jamaican citizens that live within that area, right? You will no longer have to do that. Or if you were going anywhere else on the island, you are subjected to having to stay inside and quarantine yourself for a certain period of time. You will no longer have to do that. When you arrive in Jamaica now, you can go wherever the hell you want to go. And that is going to be another fun. Eliminating travel-related quarantines and the need for travelers to fill out and receive approval of the travel authorization forms are key steps in relaxing our travel protocol as the global spread of COVID-19 declines. This was said by the Minister of Tourism, Edmund Bartlett. We're confident that these refreshed entry requirements will increase the appeal of Jamaica as a destination of choice and help us continue on our path to recovery for the tourism sector and wider economy as a whole. Now, as you know, this is like one of Jamaica's biggest money earners, right? And like everywhere else, the economy was hit pretty hard throughout this pandemic. No one's coming in. Jamaica has a lot of hotels that employ a lot of local people, and which simply means that there wasn't enough work for a lot of people. So a lot of people were laid off and didn't have a ways or means to support their families. These hotels didn't have ways and means to support themselves. And now we're getting back to normalcy. So a release from the Jamaica Tourism Board, or JTB, said that Jamaica has recently shortened the isolation period required for U.S. travelers who test positive for COVID-19 while they're in Jamaica, in keeping with the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommended guidelines. And they've eliminated quarantine restrictions for fully vaccinated business travelers who present a negative PCR test taken within 3 days of travel to the island. We are continually reviewing our Jamaica Cares program and travel protocols to align with best practices from internationally recognized organizations and ensure that Jamaica retains its position as one of the world's leading tourism destinations. Donovan White, Director of Tourism, said, "These changes are timed to go into effect as destinations across the globe are enacting similar revisions to their own travel requirements. The health and safety of every Jamaican and every visitor to the country remains the island's top priority throughout Comprehensive Jamaica Cares program," JBT said. Jamaica Cares is a nationwide response to COVID-19 that includes the island's comprehensive health and safety protocol, which were among the first to receive the World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travel recognition and allowed the island to safely reopen in June of 2020. Someone says, thank goodness, one less thing to worry about. I'm coming and I'll be there pretty soon. Another person says, I now me think them should have want tighten restrictions on even the countries with outbreaks to protect Jamaican citizens since their COVID case have nearly zeroed. So with all the other countries Jamaicans are traveling, to give them the same leniency, I don't understand it. In closing, I'll say this. Some people are not ready. Okay, they're not ready to come out of the quarantine. They're scared because they've been scared for a couple of years now. But majority of people are ready. And just like us here at SouFLoTV, we've been going even while there were strict rules and regulations about quarantining. And I must say, Jamaica was strong at it. They were very adamant at it, and they handled it very well. We went multiple times during, and we'll be going multiple times now. All right. Hopefully we'll see you out there on the road in Jamaica somewhere, enjoying life, soaking up that breeze and that sunshine and having some fun. Get out and live. You only got one life, and this ain't no rehearsal. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.